Hello everybody and welcome. I am Dr. Berge from DrLuke on Call and from DrLuke Crypto. Hola a todos, Sunny Banana Nonke, Da Jia Hao, Bonjour tout le monde, Dag allemaal. Yes, and as you can see, I love languages, I love crypto, and I love UTrust. And today we have to discuss a very important topic. We have to discuss ERC20 tokens. What does it mean? We've all heard of them. We really don't understand what they are. We think we know UTrust is also an ERC20 token, but why ERC20? Now you also might ask, how can a doctor talk about ERC20 tokens? And that's exactly the point. We are not all developers, we are not all software engineers, but we can all own crypto, and we sometimes need to understand a little bit of the basics. And I want to try and explain to you in very basic language the way I sort of studied it, understood it myself, and I might have some mistakes and some errors. Please reply in the comments if I made a bit of a blunder on certain topics, but I'm going to try and tell you the way I understand ERC20 tokens. Okay, you all know we've got Bitcoin, it's on the Bitcoin blockchain. You all know we've got Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain. Ether, that is a native token of Ethereum. So on Ethereum you can build, because there's smart contracts, you can build smart contracts on Ethereum. So a lot of people started building the smart contracts, and a lot of tokens was created in 2017. The problem was there wasn't any interoperability. You want the things to communicate with each other. If I have a token with a supposed value and I want to send to an exchange, the exchange has got to know that this is UTrust, this is how many tokens they have, this is how many is in supply, this is who owns it. So you've got to be able to speak to each other. Now comes along another token and another one, and they've each got their own smart contract, and it's so difficult to interact. So what did they do? They created a standard and they called it ERC20. And that's why, if you look at the breakdown, Ethereum request for comments. That's what ERC20 stands for. It's on the Ethereum blockchain. And those smart contracts contains the transactions and the balances of the holders. If you go to Etherscan, you take the smart contract address, you can see how many holders are there for UTrust. You can see how many UTrust is in each Ethereum address of UTrust. So it's important to know what those smart contracts can do and what they cannot do. The interoperability was now possible because there was a standard. And we'll get to the standard just now, because the standard has 6 mandatory and 3 optional aspects on it. So what is important with the standard? It is for fungible tokens. Now, the big buzzword nowadays is NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. So what is a fungible token? Fungible means if I give you a $10 note or a €10 note, it doesn't matter if it's one that was printed 10 years ago or yesterday and they've got a different picture on the back side or the front side. The $10 is $10. I can swap it at any time. So that means it's fungible. Same with UTrust. My one UTrust, your one UTrust is the same. It's fungible tokens. So ERC20 is for fungible tokens. There are also other standards like ERC1155 and ERC721, and they are non-fungible tokens, which means there's only one of them. It's like a .crypto address that we get on unstoppable domains. And if you want to learn about unstoppable domains, there's a link down in the bottom in the description. You can get your own .crypto domain with your own name that you can link to your Ethereum, your Bitcoin address. How amazing is that? You don't have to remember that long string anymore. You can just remember DrLuke.crypto and link all your addresses to it. And unbelievable that they can do that. So, but that is a non-fungible token. So you can also sell that because it's on the blockchain. Okay, if we look at the standard, the optionals that are there is you can name your token like UTrust, you can give it a symbol, UTK, and you can give it the decimals, 18. There are also mandatory standards that are very important because this is what makes it interoperable. It gets a little technical because it's total supply, balance of, transfer from, approve, and allowance. So those things have to be there, and if that's there in the smart contract, then they can interact with each other. There are, however, negatives as well to ERC20 and ERC20 tokens. One of the big negatives is that millions of dollars have been lost. Why? Because people send funds into the smart contract of the actual token. It's not designed for that, so you can't get it out. So it's lost. So that is a problem, and there's no way of checking that there's funds coming into the smart contract's address. So that is something that, you know, in future needs to be addressed, and there's already some suggestions that they might change the standard, but for the moment we are using ERC20 tokens, and that's why it's important to make sure exactly where you send your funds to. Don't send it to a smart contract of a token, because you're not going to have your funds back. Then secondly, as we all know, if you use MetaMask on your browser, you need two transactions, an approve function and a transfer from. So the Ethereum gas fees can be a little bit expensive if you want to swap or send tokens that are ERC20 tokens, because it needs a double transaction. A little bit irritating, frustrating for all of us, but you know, we sort of got to live with that, and we look at the fees and the gas fees, and if it's not that high, sometimes we're lucky it's less than 100 Gwei, and then we don't pay that much. But you know, you get sometimes with the DeFi operations that the Gwei fees goes up to, you know, 400, 500 Gwei, and then it can get really expensive if you have to do two transactions. Okay, now getting to UTrust. You all know we have got new UTK. So what was the story? The KuCoin exchange was hacked. A lot of UTK was stolen by the hacker, taken into his own or their own addresses. They needed to actually then get rid of the UTK and get it into different funds. So what UTrust did amazingly well, they decided to redeploy the whole contract. Remember, they cannot change the contract, but they can redeploy the whole contract. So if you look at the UTrust token contract now, it is a different contract number. It looks different. And the reason is because they have redeployed all 500 million supply that was in the previous contract as well. They have reissued everyone that had UTK, because remember they took a snapshot of all the addresses that owned UTK, and they have reissued everyone with the new contract UTK, and the previous one is worthless. But you will still have the previous one in your wallet because it's still there. If you send it to a smart contract of a token, it can be burnt, but it's basically worthless. So the best is, you know, just to hide it, just to don't look at it, don't try and sell it to anybody, because it's not worth anything, and you're really getting someone to pay for something that is worth nothing, fooling them into thinking that it is something. So we have all received our new UTK on the new contract, and that is really important, and definitely credit to UTrust for going to the great lengths to make this possible in a very short period of time, where there's a lot of other things that's also now happening in the company, and new things that they were planning for at the end of Q3. So thank you to the management, thank you to everybody for doing this, so that the whole community can be secure, and that we can know that we're dealing with a company that know exactly what they're doing. And the important thing is, like, you know, the hacker did not obviously receive the new UTK. So that was a very great and good way to secure those funds that were stolen. So I hope you understand now why we have ERC20, why UTrust could actually redeploy a new contract, and why they couldn't just change the old one. The new contract are there, and that's why you theoretically have two coins in your wallet now. Let's say you had a MetaMask or a Ledger, there's two. The one will be worthless. You can go to your Ledger, into your MetaMask, you can just hide it so you don't see it. Don't try and sell it, don't try and swap it on Uniswap. It's worth basically nothing, and if you do that, it's going to cost you a couple of fees, and someone's going to pay something for that, and it's going to be worthless. So enjoy the fact that we've got new ones. I hope you understand ERC20 tokens a little bit better now. Next time we'll talk about something interesting. Leave some comments, and if you want me to talk about something specific about UTrust, we might be talking about staking, we might be talking about new wallet. We might be talking about a lot of interesting things coming in future, especially with the Bitcoin price breaking up and hopefully heading towards $12,000. Thank you very much for watching. Merci, bye danki, gracias, shishini, so many languages, bye danki. And remember, it's because of a lack of financial knowledge that people perish. Use a river principle. Make sure that when wealth comes in, it also flows out. Don't hoard everything in a dam principle, because the water just gets ugly. Make it flow, make the money come in, make the money also go out to help others. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.